And this is a competitive card game where players are trying to protect their Doucs, which are a type of monkey that's endangered in Vietnam. And the designer of this game actually did travel to Vietnam and was involved in the efforts there, and this is what inspired him to create this game. And this game has a really interesting mechanism because there's always going to be one ranger player, and that player is always trying to defend their Doucs. And then there's always going to be a poacher player that's trying to put the Doucs in danger. And then the remaining players will all play as tourists that can either have a positive or negative effect on the Doucs because they can decide whether they want to try and rescue Doucs or put more in danger. But the game plays over 3 rounds, and for the first round you're just going to randomly choose which player is the ranger player, but then after that it's going to go to whichever player is currently in the lead. But the interesting thing about being the ranger player is that you actually get to decide which player is the poacher, and then like I said, all the remaining players are tourists. Each turn you deal 5 cards to each player, and then the poacher player is going to put one of their Douc cards from their hand into the center of the play area. And then once that card's in play, all the other players can play cards according to whatever goal that they currently have for that turn. If they want to save the Doucs, then they have to play a same suit card of higher value than the one that was played, or they can play a trump card. But if they want to cause more trouble, you can actually put more Doucs in danger by placing a Douc matching the value of one of the cards that's already been played into a new stack. The turn's going to end once the ranger player no longer wants to play a card, and all the other players no longer want to put more Doucs in danger. At that point, any Douc cards that weren't able to be saved are going to be put in front of the ranger player, and they're going to count to their lost Doucs for the rest of the game. Players will then swap cards according to who's ever in the lead, and then you're going to deal out 5 cards just like before, and then the turns continue in the exact same way. This continues until the draw deck runs out, which triggers the end of a round, and then you're going to be playing for 2 more rounds. Then the player with the least lost Douc cards in front of them at the end of the game wins the game. And if this one sounds interesting to you, or if you want to learn more, or even learn more about what efforts are being done to try and help the endangered Doucs, you can find links in the description below.